The Mental Health is a Lifestyle podcast is not a substitute for your relationship with a mental health professional. Hey, family. Welcome back to another episode of The Mental Health is a Lifestyle podcast with your girl, Andrea Wise-Brown. And today, family, I have a special guest with me. She is my friend, and her name is Dr. Tanisha Guy. Hey, Dr. Tanisha Guy.
That Jersey accent, baby.
Do you hear Jersey
Yes,
accent?
you know?
No, I don't hear it.
Yes, I still hear it.
No, I don't hear it. And I thought that, well, I'll tell you this. When I go back to Jersey now, people tell me I sound country. Yeah, they tell me that I sound country, and so
Country.
It's a little bit
definitely Jersey.
definitely Jersey. Okay, we got a little bit. Okay. Oh, listen, if you are just scrolling by and you haven't been here before and you're not a part of the family, I want you to be a part of the family. So please click this little bell so that you get notifications every time a new episode comes up, and subscribe to the podcast. Please. So do it in both places. Do it everywhere you find podcasts, and do it on YouTube.
And share.
And share. Yeah, there you go. That's right. Yeah. Okay. So today our topic is women supporting women. Yeah, women supporting women.
Rock with that.
Okay, you can rock with that. Okay. And let me say this to you guys, family. Y'all know I have been doing this relationship series with my bestie, Celeste. So we will be back, I believe next week. We are doing, and I want y'all to do y'all's homework so you'll know who we talk about. Y'all know we are breaking down relationships. So we are doing Love is Blind UK. Yeah, that's her show. Celeste, she loved all of the love shows. Her and my daughter Ayana, they love Love on the Roof, Love in the Bathroom, Love in the Supermarket, everything love. Anywhere you can find love, that's what they love. And so they have pulled me in to watching these shows. And then my buy-in is I give a clinical assessment of the relationships and the people in the relationships, and then we kind of give our opinion on whether the relationships will work or not, but hoping that maybe you can identify some dysfunctional behavior, right? Red flags. That's right. Outside of yourself, but then even some red flags that you may have, or dysfunctional behavior that you may be exhibiting, and change it. So that's the reason, the intention for us to doing our series. So that series is on Netflix. So it's Love is Blind UK. So we're going to talk about those relationships. Yeah, I wonder, can you even find love and be in two different places where you don't see each other? Where you literally don't see each other and you're dating without seeing each other.
I mean, I guess so, because that requires you to focus on these internal things that you're going to place more value on instead of this external shell. So
right.
I could potentially see that, but when they say love is blind, is it?
Right. Well, and that's the thing, right? But I think that's the premise, right? It's falling in love with more than the aesthetics. But in old seasons of that show,
did it work out?
Yeah, I don't know. I don't know if those couples had long-term success. I think some of them did. I think more didn't than did, but some of them did. Because some of them were pleasantly pleased when they saw their person, but some of them were disappointed. Yeah, and they didn't really last that long. Yeah. So anywho, so that'll be that's forward coming. That would be, for the next few podcasts. But today we are talking about women supporting women. Okay, so a question that someone asked is, as we are aging, so now listen, the reality is this. We know that when we're little girls, it may be a little easier for most people to find friends with other little girls, right? So I would say, like, in forced social groups, forced meaning in cheerleading groups, or, Girl Scouts, because you're putting these in these small little subcultures, and you're doing the same thing, right? That the other person is doing. So there's so then you kind of gain some kind of connection. Or even in school, like when you're in school, right? And that's a little subculture, and you meet people. If you're the only one, this the only one, we next to each other, we borrow each other's pencil. And so that's how a lot of bonding starts and friendship starts. But I'm just wondering, as we get older, I want to call you T, because that's what I call you, as my friend. But then, for the people out here, Dr. Guy, Dr. Tanisha, what should I call you so that everybody... I can call you T?
You call me T
every day. Okay, so my question is, right, as we get older as women, do you think that it's still easy to find friends and keep friends? And before you answer that, because you know what? I did not introduce you properly. I just said you was my friend. Because you are my friend, but you also, let me just say this, y'all. So she is Dr., as I said, Tanisha Guy. And she's this amazing woman who helps other women, but you also help men too. She's a professor. She's a speaker, an international speaker. She's a mentor. Oh my gosh, she's God-fearing. She's married. She has such an amazing freaking heart. And so, what else could I say about you, T? She's beautiful.
That's a lot right there in and of itself.
Yeah. So Tim, you could say, okay, so what is it that you do? How could people find you, right? So how do you represent what do you do every day? Because you do a lot.
Sure. So as you know,
yes,
I have definitely transitioned. I guess I should start with, I've been a licensed mental health professional for the last 24 years.
Okay.
And for the last 18 years, I've been teaching in academia, counseling graduate students. And for the last 17 years, I've been in private practice. And so now I'm transitioning. My goal is to transition out of all of that completely. I haven't done it all completely. But really where I am now is I coach other women who are therapists who want to start a private practice, or women who want to start online coaching businesses. Because when I started off in the field, no one really talked about creating generational wealth, right? They said, go to school, get good grades, and get a job. And it's like, that model is antiquated. It worked for some, don't get me wrong. Those who want it. But there's a large group of individuals that want more. And so I really want to help those individuals, women in particular, tap in to be able to create greater impact with the population they want to serve, but also get their time back, right? At one point, I was working 7 days a week. And you know what it's like to see client hour after hour after hour.
I have never seen as many clients as you have seen, the way you have seen clients. Like, you work nonstop, but go ahead.
Yes, it was definitely rough. So I went from a 5-day week to a 6-day week. And then I was like, well, I'm going to throw Sunday after church. They're not going to want it. I was wrong. They wanted it. And so early on, I was really working 7 days a week, and I was working long hours. And the money was great, but I didn't have a life because I was too tired. And so now my goal is to help women understand that you can have greater reach, greater impact, add value to people's lives, but get your life back. And so for me, that's huge. I want people to know that you can create multiple streams of income and really not have to leave the house.
Okay, that's so good. Let me ask you this, and I'll get back to the finding friends when you get older. But would you say that you are a workaholic therapist? Exiting therapist?
Old me.
Yes.
Yes. I will say that, which is not good. It is not good. For anybody that says, I'm a workaholic and you wear that like an S on your chest, do not. It is a horrible addiction.
That's good.
And it is most likely an addiction to avoid something else.
Oh, come on, T.
And I can definitely be honest now and say that me being a workaholic allowed me the opportunity to focus on career and not my personal life.
Oh.
And so that area took a dive, and I made multiple sacrifices. And at the time I said I was okay with it because I wanted, right, to build this empire and focus on my career. And I did that. But again, that personal life, she was non-existent. So I don't advise anyone to go down that road.
Oh, that's so good. Oh my God. It's so much coming up in my head that, I know that we talk about behind the scenes, but just even on that whole workaholic thing and not having balance in your life, right? And kind of hiding under work, especially when you perform well.
Yeah.
Like you perform well at work. That's why you can work 7 days a week.
Because you can control that, right? Like,
you can control that.
Right. I can control that. I couldn't control that. Let me make it personal because it was about me. And control is really about the fear of failure. Right. And so you understand that there are certain things you can't control, i.e. people. I can't control a relationship. I can't control what you do in that relationship. But I can control over here how much money I make and how I make it and when I do it and where I do it. And so it was easier for me to focus my attention over there because that was something I can control. And I like feeling that sense of control than to really dabble over here and be like, I don't know what's going to happen over there. So I didn't put my energy there.
Okay, this is good. And so over there, within your personal life, T is newly married. So I do know that that's probably a part of one of the things that you're talking about where you probably wasn't putting a lot of energy there.
Nope, because I didn't want to be married.
Right, you did.
And I didn't want kids.
You did it. You did it.
Don't judge me. I said what I said.
You did it. You did it. And y'all, this comes from a woman whose parents have been married for 40 years?
Well, I'm 48.
Oh, right. Okay, you right. You're right.
Together a while.
Right. No, so but T, if you 48, so how long have they been married? When I just think so, it's over 25 years.
Yeah.
Yes. Okay. So your parents have been married for over 25 years, and she is the only child, but yet and still, she was like, "Nah, I'm not really thinking about marriage. I want to kill this career."
Yeah, and people ask me that all the time after they meet my parents. They're like, "They're so amazing."
Yes, I love your parents.
And after I sat with that, and so we talk about therapy and the importance of counseling. And so as a counselor, I see my own counselor, right? Like I am not a hypocrite. I go to therapy. I've been seeing a counselor 24 years, right? So on and off. But it was one of my sessions. And the question came up like, why aren't you married? Why don't you have kids? And I was just like, to be honest, if I'm going to be honest, because I would give all these other excuses before, the honest to God truth was, one, I was selfish. That was number one. Ooh. I was selfish.
Okay.
Number two, I realized growing up with my parents, no one is perfect. But when I say God created darn near close, my parents are phenomenal, right? And I knew the sacrifice they made for me, right? The things that they gave up so that I could have this amazing life. And I'm like, I don't want to do that, right? But I'm just being honest.
I want you to be honest.
If I had a family, that's what it meant. It meant do no less, right? Like I got to come better than what they did. And like, they over here for me, right? I put them on such a high pedestal, and I didn't know how to live up to that. I really didn't know what that would look like to get married and have kids and start a family. And again, that control piece, there were too many variables that I couldn't control in that situation. And so I was like, I don't want that. I'm gonna go over here and do this thing that I can control. And I actually enjoy what I do for a living.
Yes.
So I just kind of sat with that.
Okay. And so, before we get, because this was another part of, I would say, your personal life outside of your work life is is girlfriends or associates. That was one thing that I always knew about you, is you always had a bunch of girlfriends or a bunch of associates around you, like always. So not only did you work, but you do really well with connecting to other women. You really do. Even I believe before you got into this role of empowering other women, there's just something about you with other women. I don't know. Like I would just like sit back and be like, oh, we different.
Different. That's funny.
Well, we honest. And honestly, because I have always been one. Well, I'm an introvert. You are an extrovert.
You say you're an introvert. You are an ambivert.
I'm such
You are an ambivert. You show up in rooms as an introvert sometimes, but then there are other times you show up like an extrovert. Yes, you do.
No, so I'm gregarious. So I'm gregarious when I walk in the room. Yes, I'm loud.
You're an ambivert. Introverts don't do that. Introverts show up in the room and they're like they disappear. Right? Like I don't want to smoke. I don't want to be seen. Like I'm gonna be quiet. Andrea, that is not you.
No. It's because remember this, it's about how we recharge, how we regenerate.
It is about how you recharge.
And so my recharging is absolute. So listen, this is the deal. I recharge by myself, which is why I spend most of my time by myself. When I get in a room with a whole bunch of people, think about this. When I get on a stage, it's me by myself. Like close to me, right? I'm talking to people because God gave me this gift and this yearning to inspire people and empower people. I want women to do well and all of that. But when it's time to walk off the stage, you know what I'm saying? I will meet women, but for me just to be there and to like just sit and just be with women or even men, just to do a whole bunch of that, for me, I have to run, like my battery is dead. So I have to go recharge. So for me to recharge is by myself.
That makes sense.
Yeah. But years ago, though, when I didn't understand that about myself, this is when I met you. And I would always see you with these other women. And then I knew you also pledged you are a Delta, right?
Yes, I am a member of Delta Sigma Theta Sorority Incorporated.
Right. And so that to me was interesting too, because you would always have all of your sisters around you. And every time I would come see you or whatever, I'm always by myself. Right? Every time I'm always by myself. Yeah, it is so true. It's so true. But you would always have a bunch of women. So, which is good. It's nothing wrong with that. We're just different in that way. But I just think it's really interesting. But this is what I want to say. So I was just really saying that to just add on when you say your life personally. So yeah, you are a rock star at work. You freaking kill it. I mean, you do stuff that I don't even understand how you do all that, because not only were you seeing clients 7 days a week, right? You was also supervising therapists, and I was one of the therapists that you was supervising at one point. And then you was also like providing workshops, but then you've always still been a professor. So you've always taught. Yeah. And so then what I'm saying is, okay, so maybe the relationship thing you wasn't really putting energy into, but friendships, that was a thing that you always, I think you've always mastered that. But let me just say this before I ask about getting older and connecting to women and having friends, because I shocked myself with this. I shocked myself. But I just want to say how we met. So I don't even know if you remember.
I don't. It was at UNT, right?
It was at UNT. Yeah. So I can edit this out. Is it legal? It's legal for us to be friends after you was my professor?
Yes.
Oh, okay.
There's no ethics for that.
Okay. Okay, so then I won't edit this out.
Yeah, no ethics for that.
Okay, so
I ain't date you.
No, we didn't date. Close, no, but we.
Yeah.
Okay. And see, and that's who I am, right? I don't have a whole bunch of friends, but when I connect to women, I like, I have these one-off friends. Like I love deep connection. So that's why I don't really do well with a whole bunch of women, because then I'll be like, I get anxiety, because who am I supposed to be? I need to be talking to one person. I can't. Anywho, so you were my professor at UNT and my master's program. And
long time ago.
It was a long time ago. It was a long time ago. And it's so interesting. So of course I was here from Jersey. I moved here from Jersey in this master's program. And when I saw you walk into the classroom, I was like, the hair was hairing, the body was bodying, you know what I'm saying? The outfits was outfitting. And I'm like, okay, that's the you're the teacher. So, and then you start doing your thing. And I was like, and she's smart? Like, oh my gosh, okay, like, I like her. Because, that's how I get attracted to people, right? When I kind of feel like we vibrating, you know what I'm saying? On the same, what do you call it? Like on the same plane or whatever, right? Energy meets energy. So I'm like, I was attracted to, I'm like, okay, no, I want to get to know her. And I'm doing my head like this because, when you speak, you're very dynamic. So you move.
Yeah, I'm walking around the room. I'm in your face like, so what did you say?
So that's literally why I'm doing like this, because I can literally see the classroom and we were sitting. So anywho, at some point during the semester, I remember me asking you, like coming up to you, you said you was from Chicago. And I don't know, I can't remember exactly what I asked you.
I do think you wanted to do like some research or something together. And I was like,
I did. I wanted to do some research.
Because that's how the research started. I was doing it in Chicago on the relationship.
Okay. But I don't know what made me say relationships to you. I don't know what it was, but maybe it was it was something, a project with you. Mm-hmm. And I remember telling you something about one day I want to be Oprah Winfrey. Like, yeah. And then you look at me, you was like, I want to
be Oprah Winfrey. Absolutely.
And in that moment, that was when our eyes was like, blung. That was it. Yeah. And then from that moment on, we was on our journey to become Oprah Winfrey. Yeah. Oprah .5, Oprah .6.
Still working on it.
Still working on it. Yes. And so, but I will say this for all therapists out there, because let me tell you what this woman did. So of course we became friends. And we traveled together. We spoke in Hawaii together. She presented me with an opportunity to speak in Hawaii. And that was like my first time speaking like on a stage in front of a whole bunch of people. I love you so much. And then we started doing some research together. We started writing a book. We got to finish the book. We haven't finished it yet, but it was on relationship. It's good. It's good. It's about why men won't get married. But okay, there we go, because we got some more research to add to it. But okay, so that's how we met and we became friends. I was talking about how you support women. So you supported me, and I know and have seen you support so many other women. But then you became my supervisor. When I started counseling, you taught me how to, get insurance, get on panels. Any time that I have ever called my friend for any advice and in regards to this, and she still also gives good life advice, because she is also exiting out of being a therapist, right? And she's a smart woman, but she has helped me. You have helped me really build my practice. I know you know that. But I love you so much, like so much. When I be texting you, I'll be like, I love you. Like, I'm like, I don't know if she understands, because I'm more, and she's not. But I'm like, I love you and I appreciate you. And you don't not only do this for me, but you just do this for women. So
God's going to win.
I know you do.
Like, there's such a great need that and you know this, like, I don't gatekeep. You hear people say, oh, I don't gatekeep. Like, I really don't gatekeep. If it is downloaded to me, however it is downloaded, if you are in my space, then I download it to you. And I've never thought, and this is when I was in my practice, right, full time seeing clients, and I was supervising therapists. You guys were going to see clients, right? Mm-hmm, and so other supervisors were like, why you give them all that information? Why are you helping them start their practice? You know they're gonna go out and be your competition. And I would just be like, no, they're not. They're gonna go out and serve the people who they're supposed to serve. There are so many people that need our services. And so I was just like, it's never been about, well, let me hold back. Let me not tell you this, Andrea, because you're gonna go out and take my clients. The clients that are for you are for you. The clients that are for me are for me. And so I just wish more people would understand that you don't talk yourself out of business. If you're pouring into other people, then your business continues to grow as well.
Yeah, you know, that is one thing that I know about you is, yeah, you do not hold back. You don't have a jealous bone in your body. Even I just even hear you, or we talk about other women, and you just speak so highly always of other women. You know, I'm also going to say that you even some people shouldn't be therapists, and you hey, family, come on over here because I have something for you. Starting off with a go to guide for keeping your minds healthy and strong. This right here is the Bible to mental health. It's your mental health Bible. The name of it is Six Pillars to Power Up Your Mind and Make Mental Health a Lifestyle. Everything that you need to know about keeping your minds healthy and strong is in this go to guide. Where you get it from? Well, you get it from awisebrown.com/shop. But in this go-to guide, honey, in this mental health Bible, you know what you're going to find out? You're going to find out the benefits of aromatherapy, and how it can shift your mood. But guess what? You don't have to go anyplace else to look for your aromatherapy because your girls got you, okay? You can get some aromatherapy here. This is aromatherapy is in this candle. This is called a slice of happiness. It makes me tingle, like literally makes me tingle. A slice of happiness. This is a cruelty-free candle with no parabens, no formaldehyde, and no known suspected carcinogenics. Now, you know, you go out here and you find these candles that smell good, but are they good for you? Are they good for your brain? Come on now, get real with yourself. Well, this one smells delicious and it's good for you. Made with essential oils. It's a soy candle. Amazing. Uh, you can burn it or you can just walk by and smell it. Lord have mercy, it's so good. Okay, so that's your candle, your aromatherapy, which raises the dopamine in your brain. That's your natural feel good. Neurotransmitters in your brain. All right, y'all. And I'm a part of you. You're a part of me. We are a family. We got hoodies now, and these are unisex hoodies, and they wear well, they wash well, and they feel so good. So you can wear them over your clothes, you know what I'm saying, and look dope, or you can wear them as your clothes with nothing under them, which I like to do often. And when you travel everywhere, I mean, every time I wear them, I'm moving around. People are always asking me whether I'm traveling, going to the supermarket. What's that? Who's that? And I'm like, mental health is a lifestyle. Because see, this is on the back. Okay? They come in white and they come in black. I'm like, join the family. Mental Health is a Lifestyle podcast. So there you go. Family, don't you ever say that I ain't give you nothing. You get all of these things from awisebrown.com/shop. All right? I got your goods. I got you. You don't have to go anyplace else. I'll see you on the other side. And you like, well, you know, I'm like, but did you know this? Did you see that? And you like, well, Andrea. So
Try to find the glasses half full. I try. Not always. Sometimes it be a little empty, but I be looking for it to be half full, not half empty.
okay, all right. And so I will say that you are a friend that I found later in life, like a ride or die friend. And when I was a little girl, so you know, something that I learned about friendship, and probably through my mom was, you know, you can't trust women. Right. So I'm a little girl and I'm hearing this, right? About what this woman did maybe to my mom, or what this woman did to my mom. You know what I'm saying? How they did. And so the download that I got was, you can't trust women. You can't trust women. So then for me as a little girl and an introvert coming up, you know, if I get one or two, I'm going to hold on to that one or two like forever, right? But until you grow, and then a lot of times you grow and you outgrow the other person, or you grow in different directions. Right. And so as I had gotten older, when I moved here to Texas, you know, I just was thinking I wasn't really going to have friends. I did. I was like, yeah, no, it wasn't bad though. Like, I wasn't like, oh my God, I'm not going to have, no, I was just like, okay, yeah. Because I had my daughter, you know what I'm saying? Like, I was just like, what, you know, at the time I had my husband, so I didn't need friends. That was my thought. I really, really didn't. That's what I thought, right? I had my family. So, but anywho, the great thing is that, yes, in my older age, I found friends, and you would be one of them. And then I have a few more friends who are y'all are my best friends. And this is at an older age. So, and the reason why I'm saying this is because I don't want women to think that you can't find deep, secure connections with other women at any age, even in your older age. Because sometimes some of my clients will tell me, like, you know, well, they keep toxic relationships with toxic people in fear of not finding others, or fear of being alone. But I am here to tell you, whatever you desire desires you. Like, they're out there because God wants us to live abundantly. Okay, so now T, could you please tell us, what are your thoughts on women finding other women and connecting to other women supporting other women? Is there benefit in that? What is it about you as the only child that like I don't know, there's this, I just watch you with other women, and it's amazing. I'm gonna say it's amazing because it's selfless, no jealousy. Like, yeah, I don't know. So tell us, support another women.
So, I want to say up until maybe last year, I met a young woman, and she's a millennial. And I have to say she's a millennial because she's in a different age group. And so what she's looking for is a little bit different than where I am in life. But I said that to say that she called me the connector. And I was like, girl, what you talking about? And she's like, you just don't understand how you connect women. And she was like, your circle is I forgot the word that she used, and she was like, I'm not going nowhere, like I'm in it, like you're not gonna get rid of me, I'm here for life. And I was just like, okay. And then she was just like, but you genuinely do connect people within your circle. And so I never thought about it. I didn't pay attention to it. I was just being me. And so since she said that, I started looking at my circles, right? And so, you know, I'm a visual learner. And so what happened is, in my head, I started drawing circles that overlap. And then I started putting people in those circles. And I was like, okay, so this group is here, right? But then I would introduce them to this other circle. And now that circle has overlapped. Now, not all of the people, but there are people from both of those circles who now share similarities together, right? And then I'm constantly doing that, right? So I was just like, I do have these multiple circles within circles. And I was like, I don't know how that happened. I just show up and say, oh, you good people? I'm good people. Let me connect you to good people. Come on over here and let's grow this. And I think just being the only child, like I love being the only child. Don't get me wrong. I was not one of those kids like begging for a sibling. She wasn't. I wasn't her. I loved it, but I've always been a team person, a group person. And so I played sports, and they were team sports, right? And so for me, it's always been about the collective. And I didn't understand that before. I just thought, oh, I like to have fun with people. I like this circle of community of people. And so when I got to college, the same thing happened. Like, there was a tribe of women that I connected with in college. And so I realized that I have some day ones who we've been friends since we were 14. And then others, we've been friends since, heck, I don't know, like as early as I can remember, right? Little kids. And so that circle is still within the circle. And instead of me thinking that, well, now I'm older, let me get rid of these people. If we're still growing and nurturing each other, you're still in my circle. So one of the things that I remember when I got married at the, it was a large bridal party.
It was the largest one I've ever seen.
It was not.
I'm just
so there were 14, but we started off at 16. But there were 14 that actually were in and made the wedding. But when we went to the bridal party, bachelorette party, we all had T-shirts, and on the back of their T-shirts, they had the number of years they've known me. And so I had some who had, at the time I was 45. So some had 45 on their T-shirts. Others had 30, some had 20, some had 15. And I was just like, man, I'm rocking some long-term relationships here. And it never dawned on me until I saw them standing there. Like, I felt encouraged knowing that all these years I have supported these relationships. I haven't, always been there, but I definitely try to show up when I can, enough for these women to be like, I'm going to show up for you on your wedding day. And so I think now when I think about relationships as an adult, you can still have them. They're just not as easy. And I think that's because the older you get, depending on the relationship that you've had, you begin to build a narrative, right? So my narrative is women treat you, they give you the energy that you give them. Not always, but for the most part, I've had some very pleasant encounters. But had I been someone who came across some real toxic women, right, who just wanted to see me fail, I would probably begin to build this narrative that you can't trust women. Women are backstabbing. Women, like, I don't like women, right? And I hear this very often. Women will say, I don't have any women friends. I don't like women. I can't trust women. And that's a very general statement, right? And so it's easier to say, I can't trust the women who've been in my circle.
That's good.
Versus to say, I can't trust women. Because I know that when I show up and I authentically treat you the way I want to treat you. I'm not sleeping with your husband.
That's right.
I'm not talking behind your back.
That's
I'm not
right.
wishing you ill.
That's right.
If you post on social media, I'm going to like it. I'm going to drop a comment, right? I'm going to say congratulations. I'm not the lurker in the background like, I just wish you don't do that, right? I think if those are your experiences, then you would say, let me keep women away. But some of that is also, as I've grown older, being a therapist, going to therapy, I do work, right? And so I've had several times to look in the mirror and be like, ooh, do you like that about you? Right? Like, I don't like how I'm showing up. So let me show up differently. And that's hard. That accountability piece, it's really hard to look in the mirror and say, maybe I'm in these toxic relationships with women because I'm the toxic.
Oh, that's so good. That's so good.
And I think that's where I had to sit like, nope, I'm not the toxic one in this relationship. So let me make sure I keep doing my work so I'm not the toxic one.
Okay.
But if you've only had toxic relationships, how do you know that it's a toxic relationship?
Well, and not only that, if you've only had toxic relationships, how would you know that it's a toxic relationship? And how would you know if you're the poison that's making it? Right. That's right. That's so true. Which is why we say go to therapy, right? Because I also go to therapy. I love therapy. I've been in therapy for years, off and on, like you say. When something occurs, I might need some to rebalance. I might need my oil change, so I have to go back. So no, that's good. But let me ask you this: women supporting women. Is there ever a time for you? You know my answer to this. But is there ever time for you to cut the relationship, cut a woman off? Someone in your life? Because I get a feeling that you don't cut anybody off. When you start so much circles on top of circles on top of circles.
Had you asked me that a couple years ago, I would say no. But today, yes, right? I stand 10 toes down on protecting my peace. And there are some relationships that I have had to remove myself from because it doesn't protect my peace.
Oh, that's good.
I want to make sure that people who are in my space generally want to see me win.
Yes.
Right? Like, because I see people win and I get happy. Like, when you win, I'm like, yeah, know, right? But when I don't get that same energy, right? When people are in my space and when I'm winning, they're like,
"Oh, get him out of there!"
Right? Like, what's your problem with me? What did I do to you?
Jealousy.
Right?
The problem wasn't with you; it's with them. It's with themselves.
So now I
Take that
realize,
somewhere.
like, I need to remove you. Or the idea that when you hit me with this, now before it wouldn't bother me, but when you hit me with this today, your life always been good. Exit stage left.
Oh, that's so
like
good.
You can't tell me my life has always been good. Just because you've seen what you've seen doesn't mean it's always been good. And so I'm like, that sounds like you no longer need to be in this.
Oh, tell me what about that triggers you?
Because my life ain't been good.
But look, so for me, but no, for me, when I hear that statement, it makes me think, you know, like I'd be thinking, like, why are you assessing my life? Like, you know what I'm saying? Like, how you in my life, but yet you're assessing my life. Like a friend of mine told me before, well, she's not a friend anymore. She wasn't probably ever my friend. But she said to me, she got up in front of everybody. It was at a book signing. And thank God I had like so many people there and they were supporting me. And when it was time, you know, you get up on the stage and I'm like thanking everybody. So she gets up on stage and she starts to speak. And this is the thing, right? You can see through people by listening to what they say.
The backhanded compliment.
Oh, she said, "I never thought that you would be this successful."
Yeah, that was a backhanded compliment. That's what I'm talking about. It was a backhanded compliment.
What in the...
Yeah.
I was like,
backhanded.
Because the people in my life who know me, who love me, they know I'm
gonna be successful.
Come on.
What she was really saying is, I'm really hating that you're successful. That's what she was really saying.
Yes.
A backhanded compliment.
Yes. And then she started to show herself even more. But at that time, I was distancing myself from her. But anywho, it was really the point, like you said. So when you just said, going back to what you said, when you said somebody said to you, because that's what that felt like. When you said, they said, what is it? Your life has always
been great.
Yeah.
Say what? Come again?
Yeah.
And like, this was like, you've been knowing me. Like, you've been knowing me for some years, right? So,
but what about that offends you?
Because it has not, right? Because I show up, right? Like, I show up not like how I look.
Yes.
Right? Because from 2011 to 2014 was probably the roughest years of my life, right? And I don't talk a lot about it, but baby, look here. Financial strain, personal stress, professional, like I had them all at the same time, right? Like my house is about to be in foreclosure, right? Like what we talking about? This relationship joke, we know what that is. I know all, yes. And career-wise, I had to literally build a practice that I didn't want to build. I wanted a part-time practice, but now I'm building this full-time practice. So for her to be like, well, you know, your life has always been great. No, it hasn't. But because I show up, not like what I'm going through, you think otherwise. But what bothered me is that she knew. Because we talked. You weren't just seeing me on social media, right. Public places. You knew me. You knew what I was going through. And yet, in your mind, that still wasn't enough. Ooh. Like, you needed me to hit rock bottom lower than the bottom. Because I hit rock bottom. Right. But you wanted me to be underneath the bottom. For you to feel like, oh, I guess you don't do so. You got to go.
Oh, that's so good. You got to go. Okay, that's so good. So how do you remove, and as this is a woman who always supports women, but there is a time when you're supposed to prune the trees. Now you're supposed to prune, get them rotten leaves off. But I just want to know, how do you end toxic relationships with other women? What does that look like for you? Because I'll tell you what it looks like for me.
It looks like separation, right? Like, I'll randomly send a text, hey, how you doing? What you doing? But if you call me, you got my ear, right? If you get me on the phone, you know we gonna talk. You don't get that anymore. You no longer get access to me, and that's what it looks like. That means when I'm reaching out, bringing the circles together within the circles, you don't get that invite.
You're not invited.
I mean, what? You don't. It's just...
I'm just laughing. That's so good. So you don't send a formal text. You don't say, hey, lollipop.
No, my removing myself from your life is the text.
Oh, that's so good.
Because you know when I've been removed from your life.
Oh, that's so good. Yeah, so we're similar in that way because I don't send a formal text either. Yeah.
You about to get this
I'm just going.
No, my love language is acts of service. Right? That's my love language.
Yes.
And so because of that, my love language is acts of service and material things. So you know that we're no longer in this when I pull them services away. When I pull those things away, whatever they may be, financial, information, it's removed. I don't need to send you an informal text, nothing.
Oh, that's so good. Yeah. And mine is, what's the one with the time?
Time.
Yeah, it's time, right? And I told you when I love somebody, I'm attracted to somebody, or when I think of friendship and love and partnerships, I spend time with you. I do not just randomly spend time with people. I just don't do it. But when I do that, like, oh, baby, you got me. When you got somebody loyal, I got your back no matter what. I'm fighting when you fight. Whatever I have that you need, I'm going to be there. You just got to let me know. Yeah. And when I'm done. Oh, yeah, you can't get me no more.
It is the running joke in my family that I am a Taurus.
Okay.
And so.
Is that a joke?
No, that's the serious part. That's the truth. I am a Taurus.
Okay.
But the joke is, I will definitely give you the shirt off my back, right? And as long as you don't bother me, the bull won't bother you. But you bother the bull,
it's going down.
Beast mode.
Yeah.
It is beast mode. And so people that know me are like, oh, she's so sweet. She's this nice. I am. But I promise you, if you get on this bad side, my Chinese horoscope is a dragon, and I spit fire.
Oh, really? I've never seen that.
Because you don't need to. The people need to see it.
Oh, my gosh. Yeah. No, that's good. Yeah. Yeah, when I'm done with somebody, I'm done. And they know it. And so, because that's punishment enough. You know that.
Right. Yeah.
Because you're amazing, right?
I think I'm good people, and I think I try to bring good people together with other good people.
Yes, no, you do that, and I feel like I show up in people's. I'm not really good with bringing good people. You know, that's just not my thing, right? You can corral people. That's your thing. And for me, I told you it's that interpersonal one-on-one. Yeah. So that is true. Yeah. But I want to get better. I want to get better, honest to God, at bringing women together, lots and lots of women together.
But I think you've already started that because you've already shifted the narrative when you said, I now understand that you can develop these relationships older in life.
Yeah.
So that was a shift in the narrative that is now going to show up in your behavior. Your actions.
It is so true because now that I'm open for that, my friends are the ones who got me to be around other women and and I love it. Like, I really, really love it. It's so much fun.
Absolutely. And you learn so much, right? Like, when I'm in a room and I'm like, oh, I need to get in other rooms because if I'm the smartest person in this room, there's a problem.
Oh, yeah.
Right? Like, I'm constantly looking for these other rooms because I know I'm going to pour into you in this room, right? But if I don't have anything else to pour, and you guys don't have anything to pour back, let me get to another room.
Ooh,
I'm going to go get that. I'm going to bring it back to you all, but I at least need to be in those other rooms so that I can get that pour back into me.
Oh,
that's what I'm always thinking is just like, I need to continue to move in these different circles because the minute I become the smartest person in that room, that's a problem. And I don't think I'm that smart. So like, I need to get some more information, right? I need you to get some more information so that we can nurture that. And so that's why I think building the circles and connecting other women and opening it up is so powerful.
No, I totally agree. And I also agree with not being the smartest in your circle. And I think being smart in certain ways, but the women who are in my life, you being one of them, are smarter than me in one way or another, right? So I have my little smart area, right? But then because we all need to build
something
each other.
to the table.
Come on,
right?
now.
Like, I need you to be an expert in your wheelhouse, in your wheelhouse, in your wheelhouse.
Yes.
And those circles work for me. But when we're all in the same wheelhouse, they're like looking at me, I'm like, I don't have nothing else. I can't give you anything else. So I need to go to another circle.
Yes. Oh, that's so
we
good.
can bring something back.
And bring it back. Oh my gosh, that is so good. Okay, so I just want you to I want you to tell everybody right now in your life where you are with this whole thing of supporting other women. Like there's this new thing that you're doing, right?
Yes.
So tell us what you're doing.
So in January, I launched a new project called Girl, You Got This.
Oh.
And it is all about empowerment, from the brunches to dinner parties to vision board parties. It's all about empowering women. And so throughout the year, I've been focusing on these different series. And it's just literally about that. Like, let me pull you up. What you need. If I don't have it, let me go pull in another woman who got it to pull you up. And so from the Girl, You Got This series, the next project that I've really been working on is the Legendary Clinician Academy. And the Legendary Clinician Academy, it's about helping women therapists create these multi-figure empires, right? Like, I don't want you to think of a private practice. And I hate when people say this, my little business. How your little business going? I don't know, because you call it little. Because this business ain't little, right? Like, I want women clinicians to understand that there's so much power that you have and the knowledge that you have, that it's not a little practice, right? That you don't have to work for somebody's 9 to 5. You can if you want to, but understand there's this massive world out there that needs your resources, that you can actually start creating generational wealth. And nobody's 9 to 5 is ever going to create generational wealth, because you can't leave that. That's not a legacy. You can't die and say, I'm going to leave this company to somebody else. It's not your company. And so I really am focused on now helping women clinicians empower themselves and grow these businesses, and understand that generational wealth is on the other side of you pushing past yours.
Oh, that's so good. And I didn't say this about you, but you're an author.
Yes.
Yes.
Now this is funny, because this allowed me to step outside of my comfort zone.
Okay.
When I finished my dissertation, which was 19 years ago.
Wow.
I know, right?
You getting up there, girl.
As soon as I finished, I was like, I'm about to write this book, right? I'm about to write this book. 2005. I didn't write the book. Even though I had written a 275-page dissertation, all I had to do was cut and paste, right? Let me edit it. I didn't do it, right? And so fast forward, every year I was like, I'm gonna write this book, y'all. It was like, yeah, okay, it's coming. So finally, I just stopped talking about it, because my mom and dad was like, yeah, girl, you ain't gonna write no book. And I was like, I am. I'm really gonna write the book. So in 2021, I was like, this is it. I'm gonna write this book. And so I just went to my computer and was like, what is it? What space am I in now? What do I need to help people with? And I was just like, helping therapists. So I wrote the first book, Private Practice in 30 Days, the things they don't teach you in school, the business side of private practice. And I took everything I really had and was like, bam, this is what you need. So this book really helps clinicians get started and understand these are the things you have to put into place structure-wise so that you can grow it and scale it. And while I was working on that, I was like, you know what else I do? I talk a lot about listening. Right? Because as therapists, we understand that because you hear someone doesn't mean you're listening to them. And constantly hearing my couples say, oh, we have poor communication. I was like, I don't think it's a communication issue. I think it's a listening issue. I think you know how to hear, but you don't know how to listen. So right when I finished the Private Practice in 30 Days, which took me a month, I stayed on the computer and started writing Stop Hearing and Start Listening, which is a book to help people improve how they communicate by teaching you actually how to listen. Because you and I both know that we had to learn how to be good listeners, right? Because when you sit in your first session, you don't hear not one word. For all you future graduates in the field, let me tell you, you're not going to hear not one word. It's going to sound like wah, 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 wah. And you're going to shake your head and be like, and they going to think you was listening, but you wasn't. You was too busy thinking about what you was going to say next in your head. You heard the sound, but baby, you wasn't listening. But you learn to listen. You learn how to walk away from a session and you can probably pare it back or paraphrase back every single thing they said. That is an art. That is a skill. And so many people think, oh, I'm a great listener because you hear sound. You're a great hearer, but you're not a great listener. And so I wrote the second book, and in 2 months, I released both of the books and was like, oh, if I can do this, I can keep doing this. So I got a new book that's about to release at
Okay.
the end of this month.
Okay.
And when I tell you,
Uh-huh.
this book right here
Okay.
is the reason why it took me almost 20 years to write the first book. And it is all about the imposter syndrome.
Oh, that's good.
How do you overcome the imposter syndrome?
Oh, that's so good.
And I'm so excited for this book because it's personal.
Yes.
I go through it. I went through it. I still have those challenges with it. But there are so many women not showing up in their purpose, not walking into the place they should be, not sitting at the table, not applying for jobs, not starting a business, not writing a book, not because they can't do it, but because they told themselves they couldn't do it.
Lord.
The imposter syndrome is real. So I can't wait to release this new book at the end of the month.
Oh my gosh. Like, I am so excited. I didn't know that. We sat together yesterday for hours. And
I forgot about it yesterday. We were talking about so much stuff yesterday.
we was catching up.
Yeah.
We was catching up. And so I didn't know that. I love that. Oh, that's going to be so good.
I think it's going to change some women's lives. But I think it's going to help some people get their breakthrough.
I know it is. And let me just tell you why it almost gives me the chills, because you don't, you share, but you share, but like to share like that, you're more reserved, right, than me. Like, yeah. So for you, like, this is going to be good, because I know anything that you put your energy into is going to be A1. So the fact that like you going there, like, it's going to be so powerful, and it is going to change lives.
Yeah, like, it's a movement, right? The title of the book, so I'm not going to release it.
Yeah, don't do it until you get it.
I'm going to get a whooping.
Okay, don't get it until you put it out.
But
okay,
it's going to be a movement, right? I'm bringing women together. We're about to do intensive workshops. We're about to go into these kitchens and cook up some stuff.
Oh, come on,
because
now.
I need women to walk away knowing that the imposter syndrome is real, but you can push past it.
Oh, I love it. 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 Okay. All right. Because I won't ask for a tease. I was going to say, if there was like one thing that you could just drop, because I want you to come back when it's done.
Yes. And then definitely come back when it's done.
Yes. Yeah. Because we do. We want to pull women up. Okay. So, friend, please tell everybody how they can stay connected to you, so that we all know when the book comes out. I want you to also tell them how to stay connected to you, just because you're an amazing freaking person. If they know some therapists who need support, I'm always sending therapists to you for you to supervise or tell them or do whatever you need, whatever they need. And I know you're going to give it to them. So you always my A1. But in addition to that, what is it? What did you say the name of in January you started? I don't want to mess it up.
Girl, you got this.
Girl, you got this. So I also want you to give your information, so they can feel like these girls out here can feel like you got this, and they can kind of stay connected to the movement.
Absolutely. So you guys can actually find me on all of my social media platforms at Dr. Tanisha Guy. So if you're a Facebook user, that's your wheelhouse, Dr. Tanisha Guy, Facebook. If you're an Instagram user, Dr. Tanisha Guy, Instagram. If you're at TikTok, which is my wheelhouse, Dr. Tanisha Guy on TikTok. And if you're on LinkedIn, Dr. Tanisha Guy.
Okay.
And so definitely reach out to me if you are a therapist who wants to start a practice, or if you are a coach or you want to start an online coaching.
Oh, I love that.
Oh, and the books.
Yes.
Private Practice in 30 Days is on Amazon, and Stop Hearing, Start Listening is also on Amazon.
Okay. I love it. I love it. I love it. I love you, girl. I love you. Okay, so everybody, please follow Dr. Tanisha Guy. And y'all can see, put the name up there, everywhere. So on TikTok, on Instagram, on LinkedIn, and Facebook, right? Everywhere is Dr. Tanisha Guy. I love you, friend. And connect to other women.
Oh, absolutely. Like, if you are looking for a community of empowering like-minded women, and I'm not talking about the peanut gallery where y'all go to these empowerment brunches and you're like, they were so mean. I'm talking about genuine, authentic connection with women who really want to see you win.
Yes.
Make sure you follow me, because what's coming in the next couple of months, I promise you, you all don't want to miss it.
Okay. Hey, family, drop the mic. That's all. I don't want to mess that up. So thank you again, family. family, for showing up to another episode of the Mental Health is a Lifestyle podcast with your girl, Andrea Wise-Brown. Make sure y'all do your homework. Go find that daggone Love is Blind UK so we can break down those relationships and you can see, am I acting the way they acting? Or is the person that I'm dating acting like that? Oh, that's a red flag and I should probably cut that off. I'll see y'all next week on the next episode.